There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
Welcome to Destination University. We're running a special series talking to 30 teens and learning about all their dreams, where they've been admitted, what they did right, what they would do differently, and they're dishing out all the scoop. If you are a college-bound teen or a champion of one, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Today, you're going to meet Suraj. Look at that face. And this kiddo just had my heart with his love of rock music and playing the guitar and just doing things that are just a little bit unconventional. So I'll let him tell you the whole scoop about who he is. Before we do that, let me just tell you a big hot tip from our friends at bigfuture.org. Big Future is free, it's mobile friendly, and it's a personal guide to the college admission process. You can explore careers, plan for college, and pay for college. Learn how to pay for college. Speaking of paying for college, parents, if you're listening or watching, you need to know what EFC stands for. EFC stands for Estimated Family Contribution, and that is going to be the letters, the acronym that will determine how much you have to pay for college. So if you want to get a jump start on learning about EFC and how to calculate that, head over to bigfuture.org. Okay, sound check. Suraj, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
All right, good. Well, let's get started with our actual main star of the show here, which is Suraj. So I'm going to just jump in and ask you, well, first, before we do that, tell everyone a little bit about you, where you go to school, and I say that because a lot of our students are from California, and many of them are from our Catholic schools because those are our partners, but you came to us from a different school. So share a little bit about your high school.
Hi, my name is Suraj Shah, and I go to Gretchen Whitney High School in Cerritos, California. I've been attending there for the last 4 years, and I've pretty much just stayed around the Orange County and LA County area for all of my schooling. And
Whitney High School is pretty well known, right? It's a ranked school, and if I remember correctly, because it was, when I was a kid, but people know, or college, I should say, colleges know Whitney High School, correct?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, good. It's got all the bells and whistles in terms of what they offer in honors and APs. All right, so Suraj, you love rock music, you want to be a doctor, you want to be an entrepreneur, you're just a man of everything. So share with people what you think helped you stand out in terms of what your coolness factor was, and then we'll backtrack to where you applied. But what helped you stand out in your application?
Well, I definitely think one thing that did stand out in my application was, as you mentioned earlier, that duality I had of playing the piano and being a religious person combined with my love for rock music and public speaking and everything, because I think having like hobbies and having genuine interests outside of academics really distinguishes you from many other applicants. And it's a great way for admissions officers and admissions readers to get to know who you are beyond just your classes and tests and everything. And I think that's, if you're able to convey your genuine interest in what you love doing, schools will easily be able to tell who you are. And yeah.
And you don't just like rock music. Like you, if I remember correctly, you kind of you research, all the, all the artists who are instrumental in its history, all of that, right? Like, yeah. I think you have books or what do you explain to people, sort of how you cultivated this coolness factor of this love for rock music?
Well, it all started back when I was in elementary, when my dad was showing me some of his favorite songs from when he was a kid back in the 70s and 80s. And I started to really enjoy rock music, and I started buying books that had all these lists of the greatest rock bands of all time. I even picked up the electric guitar and started learning that self-taught in my free time. And I've loved every minute of it.
And now, those of you who are watching, you can see that I'm doing air quotes, his free time, right? That this kind of kid just doesn't, like free time is non-existent. But if I remember correctly, you really put your money where your mouth is. You would practice on that guitar at least 30 minutes a day, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You are who you say you are. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the college admission process. So in terms of, how did you cast your net? How did you decide which schools you would apply to? You have this kind of Renaissance thing going, but you have this goal of becoming a doctor, but you also had a lot of other love. So how did you select your list of colleges?
Well, I feel like a few factors that I put in mind when I was selecting which colleges to apply to were definitely one small factor was proximity. Of course, I would have liked to go to a school on the East Coast, and I would love to go to a school nearby as well. But I also put into account like the kind of like the environment at the schools I was applying to, as in how student life there, how social is it, and how are academics alongside that. And those were pretty much my main deciding factors when I was creating my list for colleges to apply to.
Ah, great. Now, and you have so many interests, but did you have to, for most colleges, did you have to say one major that you were going to do, or how did you negotiate with yourself on what you would list as your main major?
Well, the main thing I did for listing my major is I looked into like all the courses I've taken in high school, and I really thought to myself, what did I enjoy the most? And I realized that I love psychology, psychobiology, and that's why, and biology in general. And that's why to most of my colleges, I applied as like a neuroscience major or a molecular and cell bio major. And of course, I also put it as like my alternate major, like economics or business administration, as alternate routes I could take in the event I decide not to do a bio major.
Oh, excellent. Oh my gosh, so many. And you were admitted to some great, great schools. Any one of those people would just die to have as a choice. So you did really well. So to that point, there's, the two questions I have is what did you do right? The college admission process, most teenagers don't really realize that it starts in the freshman year. The courses that
Mhm.
you take in, what you're going to, clubs that you join, it starts in freshman year. So what did you do right as you look back on your years in high school? And the other side of that coin is if you had to do it all over again, God forbid, what would you do differently?
Well, I think that one thing I definitely did right was I had a lot of diversity in my activities. For example, I had volunteering, social justice, speaking, and also research internships related to my interests, which lie mainly in the STEM field. And I think showing like a diversity in your activities, kind of backtracking to the point I made earlier, it shows like it kind of brings out more of your personality. It shows college admissions officers that you're willing to try different things and that you also have an actual interest in what you're pursuing. Whereas I think if I'd only pursued activities specifically in one field, I wouldn't have been able to have that variety or even gain any experience in like fields or areas outside of my own interests.
Oh, I like that. A variety of interests led to a variety of things that you joined. And sometimes it's okay. I want to say out loud that it's okay if you join something and you discover you don't like it.
Mhm.
That's sometimes just as important as finding the things that you do like. So excellent. Okay. Anything that you would do different or wish you could change about the process or about something you did along the way?
Well, yeah, one thing I definitely wish I did differently is I wish I held more, like I wish I held higher positions in the cabinets of the activities I was involved in, specifically being president for sure. I think being in cabinet of any activity you're in is phenomenal. However, I do think being president like really gives you a significant advantage over any of the other cabinet positions, and I do definitely wish I had more presidential positions in the clubs and um, like nonprofits and activities in general that I was in.
Okay, that's an interesting point, and it speaks to sort of the leadership, or we talk about. There's only so many roles for president at any given school, and so the roles of student body president or class president or editor in chief, things like that are high ranking roles and show leadership. So okay, that's a good point. Good, thank you for being candid about that. Okay, another hot topic is the testing. So in your high school years, obviously you went through pandemic, and there are a lot of things that changed. And of course, one thing that swept across the nation was almost every college went test optional. And in the state of California, the public schools are test free or test blind. So you didn't have to submit any tests for the California publics. Did you tell us if you chose to take it? And would you do it again? Are you glad that you did?
So I took the SAT in my senior year. I do think it was a helpful part of my application. Of course, that would be towards the private universities I applied to, since UCs currently aren't looking at the SAT. And I feel like it definitely distinguishes you from people who haven't taken the test. And of course, I mean, these privates, like, although they say it's test optional, I do think that if they see that you took time out of your way to study for the SAT or the ACT or any equivalent examination, it would definitely be a helpful part of your application. And these colleges will they'll respect that you took that time to study and take that test and do your best.
Yeah. And I see you were admitted to USC, which is one of your privates that you applied to. So yeah, it's test optional there, I think, still. Okay, good advice. And also testing could help with scholarship applications.
Yeah.
For those of you who are watching or listening and thinking, okay, do I take it, do I not? It really depends on sort of, again, if you're only applying to publics in California, maybe you don't need to, but it can be helpful in other ways, for sure. Okay, so we're at the point where we're going to sort of do a little drum roll, and you're going to reveal where you're going, and then I'll ask you sort of how you came to that choice. So are you ready to share?
Yep.
Okay, drum roll, please. Okay, Suraj, is all you.
I decided I'll be going to UC Berkeley.
Fantastic. Oh my God, the Cal Bears. Well, and Berkeley was the number one UC, founded first. It's the oldest UC institution. And I understand you were there to visit over the past weekend. So tell us why and how you came to this choice. What was it about Berkeley that was different for you?
Well, I think the main thing that made Berkeley stand out among the other schools I got into was the fact that Berkeley had this program called the Biology and Business Dual Degree Program, or as they call it there, the Life Sciences Business and Entrepreneurship Program. And it basically earns you a dual degree in molecular and cell bio and business administration. And at the moment, I would like to pursue pre-med and go to med school eventually. However, I think that if at some point in my college years, I do decide to back out of pre-med and go into some other route, whether it be like administration or biotech or anything, I do think having that business administration degree would be a great way for me to easily transition into another field. Whereas at my other schools, I would have only gotten one degree with a single major. And I feel like that would make the transition a little bit rougher. But either way, I really love this bio and business program at Berkeley. And even after touring the campus, I just thought the whole campus was amazing. I thought the environment was great. The students all seemed very lively and passionate about what they were doing. And I really saw myself fitting in there.
Well, I mean, I believe things happen for a reason. And so just listening to you speak and really talk about this program specifically at Berkeley, which wasn't really available to you in other places, it reminds me of the essay that you wrote, the duality essay.
Yeah.
Like you have, there's this about you, but then there's that about you. And I really do think, I feel like that's a good place for you, because you're gonna take advantage of all of it. That's
Mhm.
the kind of person that you are. You're going to take advantage of all of it and see what comes of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How's mom and dad there? Were they excited about, they were on the trip with you, so they were excited about your choice too?
Yeah, yeah. They're all taking pictures, videos, running around campus with me.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best part for sure.
Yeah.
You worked really hard and throughout your years, but I also I got to learn your work ethic, because I would say change this and do that, and you just kept going and kept going with
Mhm.
these essays. So you put in the work, and clearly your true self came through on paper. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You deserve everything. You deserve everything.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to wrap up here in a second, but is there anything last few things that you want to say? Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Well, I would say, have fun in high school and try out a whole lot of things, see where your interests lie, and you all go to great colleges, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, you heard it straight from Suraj. Have fun, enjoy, and everyone, it all works out. It all works out. Okay, I'm telling you, it just get better and better. If this episode has in any way fueled your confidence or helped to build your dreams, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. And if you are a parent watching or listening, please join us over in our Facebook group, Destination University, YOU, just like the podcast, because the destination is not university, the destination is you. And if you're wanting to sign up for our essay bootcamp class, is now officially open. Registration is open for our summer 2022 series. You can head over to drcynthiacolon.com/essay camp. That's all I have for you, my friends. Continue to watch throughout this week. And in the meantime, we're going to wave goodbye, Suraj. All right, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.